to the next passage. We'll read the passage. You read along with me, in fact. Broadly speaking, letters may be said to dash into two classes, the formal and dash. Formal letters dash of official business matters and are dash to an employer, officials of a department or institutions. Letters to the dash of a newspaper also belong to this class. In fact, all dash using formal pattern is of this category. The dash has to be precisely stated. It must be dash in style and quite dash. No dash element has any place in it. So the sentence starts with letters, then moves on to one type in specific. As told in a sentence in a paragraph, the change happens from general to specific. So it starts with letters in general and moves on to one type that is specific, one type in specific, that is the formal pattern, the official letter. Right. So this is what the subject matter of the passage, what the passage is about. We'll start from the beginning. Broadly speaking, letters may be said to dash into two classes. The letters may be said to fall into two classes makes sense. Rise into two classes is wrong. Escape doesn't fit this context. Escape is like moving away from something. Describe into is a wrong usage. Eliminated. It must be fall into. So broadly speaking, letters may be said to fall into two classes, the formal and dash. It must be the formal and the dash. The rule regarding and must be connecting to different entities here, because two classes are there. Two classes in the sense there must be two different entities. The formal and dash means and is connecting to similar entities. And must be connecting to different entities here. So the formal and the dash. It might be pretty mistake. So letters may be said to fall into two classes, the formal and the dash. Now all the options are affectionate, personal, foreign, official. The formal is the same as official, so option 4 is eliminated. Nothing like affectionate letters, leave it there. I'll come back to it. The formal and personal makes sense. Personal means like unofficial. So the formal and the personal makes sense. They are two different entities. The formal one and the personal one. Nothing like foreign letters, eliminated. Now affectionate letters, love letters are affectionate. But love letters come under this informal category. Love letters come under the informal category. There is a personal one. So option A, 1 is eliminated. It must be 2. The formal and the personal. Formal letters dash of official or business matters. I told you in every sentence there will be a clue word. You must be able to identify which the clue word in the sentence is. Formal letters dash of official or business matters. Deal of is a wrong usage. It must be deal with. Contain of is wrong. It must be formal letters contain official business matters. Okay. Contain of is a wrong usage. Eliminated. Apprise anyway does not fit this context. It must be consist of. And consist of is a correct usage. It must be 4. Formal letters consist of official business matters and a dash to an employer, officials of a department or institutions. Formal letters are dash to an employer. Respected to an employer does not make sense. Eliminated. Addressed to an employer makes sense. Formal letters are addressed to. That means we write formal letters to an employer, officials of a department or institutions. If I write a letter to you, it means that I address you. So formal letters are addressed to or written to an employer, officials of a department or institutions. To is for the destination. The preposition to is for a destination. So formal letters are written to an employer, officials of a department or institutions. It means addressed to an employer, officials of department or institutions makes sense. Formal letters are paid to an employer does not make sense. Formal letters are typed to an employer also doesn't make sense because formal letters can be written, right? So 4 is eliminated. The answer must be option 2. Formal letters are addressed to an employer, officials of a department or institutions. Letters to the dash of a newspaper also belong to this class. This class means the formal one, right? Official one. Letters to the dash of a newspaper. We don't, the options are publisher, salesman, editor, printer. We don't write letters to the publisher of a newspaper. We don't write letters to a salesman of a newspaper anyway, we don't write. We write letters to the editor of a newspaper. Makes sense? We don't write letters to the printer of a newspaper. Gone. The answer must be 3. Letters to the editor of a newspaper also belong to this class, the official one. In fact, all dash using formal pattern is of this category. This category means the official category. In fact, all dash using formal pattern is of this category. The options are correspondence, writing, columns, articles. All writing is a wrong usage. It must be all writings. So option 2 is eliminated. Now we have 3 options left. Correspondence. Correspondence means like communication, like conversation. Columns, articles. Come to the sentence once again. In fact, all dash using formal pattern is of this category. The verb in the sentence is. If the subject is singular, the verb must also be singular. If the subject is plural, the verb must also be plural. Subject-verb agreement. The verb in the sentence is singular, so the subject of this sentence must also be singular. Only then subject-verb agreement will be completely fine. Based on subject-verb agreement, option 3 is eliminated, option 4 is also eliminated. Columns, plural, articles, plural, eliminated. The answer must be option 1, correspondence. Correspondence means communication. Uncountable. Uncountable nouns carry a singular verb with them. So in fact, all correspondence using formal pattern is of this category. The dash has to be precisely stated. This sentence is positively charged. The dash has to be precisely stated. So blank 7 must be filled with a positive word. The options are content, criticism, objection, language. The dash has to be precisely stated. Precisely stated means it is positive. So blank 7 must be filled with a positive word. Based on the charge, options 2 and 3 are eliminated. Criticism and objection are negatively charged, eliminated. Based on the charge, 2 options are gone. Now we have 2 options left, content and language. Can the language be precisely stated? No. The language cannot be precisely stated, eliminated. It must be content. Content, content, both are fine. Pronunciation I'm saying. The content has to be precisely stated. It must be dash in style and quiet dash. It must be, that means the content must be dash in style. What is talked about the content here is positive. So this blank must also be filled with a positive word. Blank 8 must also be filled with a positive word. It must be dash in style. The options are lucid. It refers to the formal letter, the content of a formal letter. Lucid means clear, precise. High, florid, descriptive. Now an official letter, the content of an official letter should never be descriptive. An official letter must be very short. We should write only to the point. A personal letter can be descriptive. An official letter should not be descriptive. It must be very brief, right? Short. We should write only to the point. So option 4 is eliminated. An official letter should never be florid. Florid means like something like showy kind of thing, right? An official letter should never be florid. A personal letter can be florid, expressing a love and all, eliminated. High in the sense like high in style and all. Lucid means very clear, crisp, precise. An official letter should always be clear, crisp or precise. Based on that, 2 is eliminated. The answer must be lucid. Clear, precise and crisp. It must be precise in style and quiet dash. Now, and is a support indicator. A support indicator must connect either 2 positive ideas or 2 negative ideas. The idea before and is, it must be precise in style, positive. And is a support indicator, and the first idea is positive, so second idea must also be positive. That means blank 9 must be filled with a positive word. We need a positive word to fill in blank 9. Come to the options. Critical, creative, subjective, objective. Critical is negative. Option 1 is eliminated. Now, Subject and objective does not refer to subject and object, not the doer and the receiver. Subject and objective are tones of a passage, right? Tones of a passage, which is negative. Subjective is negative, objective is negative. It doesn't mean the subject and the object I'm saying, right? These are tones of a passage. I say subjective is negative, whereas objective is positive. Being subjective means judging someone or something based only on our personal feelings. That means we are not concerned about what the truth or fact is, we are concerned only about our personal feelings. That is termed as subjective, negatively judged. Objective is the opposite of subjective. Objective is not based on personal feelings, it's outside the mind. Judging someone or something based only on what the truth or fact is termed as objective. Now if I say a person is good, right? In fact he is good, but I feel that he is bad. That means I'm not concerned about what the truth or fact is, I'm concerned only about my personal feelings. That is called subjective. A person is good, I don't like that person. Even if I don't like that person, if he is good, I have to admit that he is good. That is termed as objective. Now a judge will always be subject to objective. A judge will never go for a decision based on his personal feelings. He'll go for a decision based only on what the truth, fact or evidence is. That is termed as objective. Now while writing an essay, we should never be subjective. We should not use the word I many times. The usage of the word I many times gives an impression that we are being subjective. It means we are looking at everything only from our point of view. Now we should never cite, and we can frame sentence without using I as well. We should never cite any personal example that I had an experience, my friend had an experience. Such examples should never be cited. All the examples we cite must be socially relevant examples, because the topic of the essay will undoubtedly be a socially relevant topic. So all the examples we cite must be socially relevant examples. Being subjective is negative, whereas being objective is positive. We need a positive word to fill in blank 9. Based on that, option 3 is eliminated. Now we have two options left, creative and objective. Come to sentence once again. It refers to the content of an official letter. It must be precise in style and quiet dash. That means the content of an official letter must be precise in style and dash. You know what is meant by, creative writing means. Right? Creative writing means like out of imagination. Short story, drama, poetry, that is called creative writing. An official letter should never be creative. We should write what the fact is, what the exact thing is. Eliminated, it must be objective. The fact, the truth, right? That's called being objective. Being truthful, authentic and all. So it must be precise in style and quite objective. No dash element has any place in it. It means in the content of the official letter. No dash element has any place in the content of the official letter, pronoun antecedent, it. Nothing like divisive, gone. Nothing like wicked element in an official letter, gone. Nothing like untidy element as well, the answer must be 4. No personal element has any place in the content of an official letter. That means we should never be subjective, we must be objective. Objective means we should write only what the truth, fact or evidence is. So no personal element has any place in the content of an official letter, so it must be personal. Getting it? So see whether the paragraph makes sense or not. The whole paragraph must make sense, and every sentence in fact must make sense. Only the whole paragraph makes sense. Getting it? The next one. We'll read the passage. More than 7,000 people died within a matter of days when toxic gas leaked a chemical plant in Bhopal, India. The leak began late at night and for several hours unnoticed. Since then, to the toxins created by the leak has resulted in innumerable deaths. Many more are sick and to live normal lives. Despite trying to get for the disaster, the people have seen no real attempt to compensate them. That means the victims. The company involved, UCC, has publicly all responsibility for the leak. No one till date has been held Was it the of the machinery or simply human error? Many questions remain The investigation has been dealt with in a very manner. The passage tells us about a leak that happened, and the leak resulted in a leak of toxic gas, and the leak has resulted in innumerable deaths. A company has been held responsible for it, but no one till date has been held dash. Was it the dash of the machinery or simply human error? Many questions still remain dash. The investigation has been dealt with in a very dash manner. The whole passage talks about a leak of toxic gas that has happened, and that has resulted in the deaths of many people. This was subject matter of the passages. Come to the passage once again. We'll go sentence by sentence. More than 7,000 people died within a matter of days when toxic gas leaked dash a chemical plant in Bhopal, India. We have gone for this rule while discussing prepositions. When we refer to the exact place or the exact time, the preposition that needs to be used is at. I live in Telangana at Hyderabad. So here, toxic gas leaked dash a chemical plant in Bhopal, India. So it must be at, based on that in is eliminated. Leaked of a chemical plant, the preposition of is for possession. There's no possession talked about here, eliminated. By a chemical plant means a chemical plant did the action. The chemical plant in fact did not do the action. So based on that, by is eliminated, the answer must be at. The exact place is a chemical plant. So toxic gas leaked at a chemical plant in Bhopal, India. The exact place is a chemical plant in Bhopal. Sorry. The leak began late at night and dashed for several hours unnoticed. The leak began late at night and continued for several hours unnoticed makes sense. It started and then continued. The leak began late at night and started. Began is the same as started. Error with redundancy. Option B is eliminated. Proceeded doesn't happen in the case of a gas leak. Proceeding means like in a procession, going forward to the next level or the next step. Further, going further is proceeded, eliminated. The leak began late at night and went for several hours does not make sense. It must be continued. It started and it continued for several hours. The leak began late at night and continued for several hours unnoticed. Since then, dash to the toxins created by the leak has resulted in innumerable deaths. Dash to the toxins created by the leak, the options are experience, introduction, exposure, acquaintance. Experience to the toxins doesn't make any sense. Option 1 is eliminated. Introduction to the toxins, that means we are getting introduced to toxins, doesn't make sense. The leak has started, has continued. So introduction to toxins also doesn't make any sense. Exposure to the toxins makes sense. People got exposed to the toxins. That is why many people died. As they got exposed to the toxins, they died. Fine, leave it. Acquaintance to the toxins. What do you mean acquaintance? Can be noun as well, like acquaintance in the sense getting to know someone but not in depth. That means we just know him but not in depth. Acquaintance to the toxins, we cannot get acquainted to toxins actually. Get to know toxins is gone, the answer must be exposure. Since then, exposure to the toxins makes sense. People got exposed to the toxins. Since then, exposure to the toxins created by the leak has resulted in innumerable deaths. Many more are sick and dash to live normal lives. Many more are sick and dash to live normal lives. Struggling to live normal lives makes sense. They are sick and they are struggling to survive, right? Fighting to live normal lives. When you compare struggling and fighting, struggling is a better option because they are sick now. They are struggling, like fighting hard to survive. So option 2 is eliminated. Grapping is gone, like grapping does not make sense here, gone. Learning to live normal lives means before they got exposed, they did not learn how to live normal lives. Now they are learning how to live normal lives, does not make sense, gone. And the 2, learning to live is wrong, it must be learning how to live. I learn how to drive, that means the way to drive. How means the way. I learn how to drive. They learn how to swim, etc. They learn to swim, they learn to drive is wrong. So learning to live is anyway is wrong. Means learning how to live normal lives. Anyway, it does not make sense because it means before they got exposed to toxins, they did not know how to learn how to live normal lives. Now they are learning how to live normal lives. Does not make sense. Gone. The answer must be struggling. Many more are sick and struggling to live normal lives, despite trying to get dash for the disaster. Now here, when people fall victims, we give money to them, and that's called, the money given to them is called compensation. Despite trying to get dash for the disaster, blank 5, finances, compensation, money, payment. Finances means loans. There's nothing like loans for the disaster, eliminated. Compensation. So the money given to the victims as a kind of help is termed as compensation. Makes sense. So when you compare compensation and money, the better option here is compensation. Money is eliminated. Now payment is for a job. We are not talking about any kind of professional job here. People became victims and we are helping them giving money. And that is called compensation. So the answer must be compensation. Payment is anyway gone. Come to sentence. Despite trying to get compensation for disaster, the people have seen no real attempt to compensate them. Despite is a contrast indicator. Must always connect one positive idea and one negative idea. The first idea here is trying to get compensation for disaster. Positive. The second idea here is the people have seen no real attempt to compensate them, negative. So the concept of contrast negative is completely fine, connecting a positive idea and a negative idea. The company involved UCC has publicly dashed all responsibility for the leak. The company, understand meaning, the company involved UCC has publicly dashed all responsibility for the leak. The options are blocked. Blocked all responsibility does not make sense. Gone. Refused, forbidden. Forbidden is eliminated anyway, right? Forbid something like to prevent something from doing something. Forbade, forbid. Forbade means to prevent, right? Option 3 is gone. Now we have two options left, refused and denied. What is the difference between refusing and denying? Refusing means saying no to an offer. Saying no to an offer is termed as refusing. If I say you offer me something, I say no to it. That is called refusing. Here, the no offer has been made to the company actually. So the word refuse can be eliminated. Denying means like saying that we did not do something. You say that I did a crime, I say I deny it. That means I say I did not do it. That fits here. The company involved UCC has denied all responsibility for the leak. Refuse does not fit here. Saying no to an offer is called refusing. No one till date has been held dash. The options are guilty, responsible, accounting does not fit here, trustworthy anyway doesn't fit here. Right? No one till date has been held trustworthy is wrong. Trustworthy means like we trust that person, we believe him, we have faith in him. That is the meaning of trustworthy. Doesn't fit this context, eliminate. Now we have two options left, guilty and responsible. Right? Guilty and responsible. Come to statement once again. No one till date has been held dash. Come to the previous statement once again. The company involved UCC has publicly denied all responsibility for the leak. That means the companies denied all responsibility for the leak. That means no one till date has been held responsible. The company involved UCC has denied all responsibility for the leak. So no one till date has been held responsible. Now first we will hold someone responsible and then find out whether he or she is guilty or not. In this case, the company. So first we'll hold the company responsible for it and then try to find out whether the company is guilty of it or not. Based on that, guilty is eliminated and so must be responsible. No one till date has been held responsible. Was it the dash of the machinery or simply human error? Was it the dash of the machinery? Closure of the machinery does not make sense, eliminated. Insolvency. Who is insolvent? A person who has become a bankrupt. Means who is completely in debts, who doesn't have money to survive for his own needs as well, who cannot pay his debts, who doesn't have money to pay his debts. A bankrupt does not fit here, gone. Was it the stopping of the machinery or simply human error? Does not make sense. Was it the failure of the machinery or simply human error? So the leak happened because of the failure of the machinery or because of human error. That's the meaning of this sentence. Was it the failure of the machinery or simply human error? Many questions remain dash. Many questions remain dash. Questions can remain unattempted. Leave it there, I'll come back to it. Questions cannot remain unapologetic, so option 2 is eliminated. Questions can remain unanswered. Yes. Questions cannot remain unreturned. Eliminated. Many questions remain dash. Now, can questions remain unattempted? Yes. When at the time of an examination, questions can remain unattempted, but it doesn't fit this context. Eliminated. In this context, many questions remain unanswered. Means they had many questions regarding what was the main reason or the exact reason for the leak, but did not get any answer to any question. So many questions remain unanswered. The investigation has been dealt with in a very dash manner. This sentence is negatively charged, so blank 10 must be filled with a negative word. The investigation has been dealt with in a very dash manner, careless manner, cruel manner, hard manner is gone. Thick-skinned manner. Thick-skinned has a meaning like, without any shame. If a person is thick-skinned, that means he is ready to do anything and everything in front of anyone or everyone. Does not fit here, gone. Cruel manner means like being very cunning kind of thing, right? Careless means like without any sympathy, without any concern for others, without humanity, without being very insensitive. So the best option here will be careless. The investigation has been dealt with in a very careless manner. That means in an inhuman manner, without humanity, without concern, without considering others, without a consideration for others, without a concern for others. That meaning comes. So it must be the investigation has been dealt with in a very careless manner. Got it? The next one. We'll read it. We have only 5 blanks in this passage. New York's tallest building is the Empire State Building, which stands on 5th Avenue, New York, between 33rd Street and 34th Street. It means the tallest building, the Empire State Building. Pronoun antecedent, singular pronoun, singular noun. It was dash on the site of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel and took 14 days at the rate of 4.5 floors a week dash complete. The building was opened on 1st May 1931 by remote control when President Herbert Hoover dashed a button in Washington, D.C. The Empire State Building towers 381 meters above ground and measures 443.2 meters to the top of the TV tower. A further 16.7 meters is below ground. The spire on top, spire means like the pointed end, we'll find on the top of the buildings, because to prevent the building from getting collapsed or getting attacked by lightning. The spire on top was designed as an airship mooring mast, but after a German airship, the Hindenburg, burned at its mooring mast in New Jersey in 1937, it was dash used. For more than 40 years, the Empire State, the building, the Empire State held the dash as the world's tallest office or apartment building. So this sentence talks about the Empire State Building and the spire it has on the top. Right. Come to the first sentence. New York's tallest building is the Empire State Building, which stands on 5th Avenue, New York, between 33rd Street and 34th Street. It was dash on the site of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. It was dash. I say that this blank must be filled with V3. V3 means the main verb in the third form, because it is always was plus V3, passive voice. And was plus V3 is the structure of simple past in the passive voice. So this blank must be filled with V3. It was dash on the site of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. Come to the options. Building, erected, built, build. We want V3 here based on that building is gone, ing. Build is gone, build is V1. We want V3. Erected is both V2 and V3. It's erect, erected, erected. Built is also both V2 and V3. Build, built, built. Now, it was erected or it was built. The building. Erecting means like we construct it somewhere and come and plant it somewhere. Like the Buddha statue. It was built somewhere. It was planted there, erected there at Tangbut. That is called erecting. Now, building, can a building be erected? Can we build a building somewhere else and then come and plant it somewhere else? No, it's not possible. So erected is eliminated. So it must be built. It was built on the side of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel and took 410 days at the rate of 4.5 floors a week. Dash complete. Dash complete. Complete is V1 plural. Because no S, no ES, no S, no ES, no IS. Complete is V1 plural and it is always 2 plus V1 plural. 2 plus V1 plural is termed as infinitive. So undoubtedly blank 2 must be filled with the preposition to. Nothing like from complete, into complete, for complete. For completion is correct. So the answer must be to complete. Took 410 days at the rate of 4.5 floors a week to complete. The building was opened on 1st May 1937 by remote control when President Herbert Hoover dashed a button in Washington DC. Now this is a long sentence. This sentence starts with the building and ends with Washington DC. The sentence started this way: the building was opened, past tense. The sentence started in the past tense, so up to the end it must be in the past tense. Only then there will be tense consistency. From the beginning to the end, a sentence must be in the same tense. So blank 3 must be filled with a verb in the past tense. Right. Come to the options. Pressed, eliminated. It is not a verb here. In the past tense as well, gone. Pressed, yes. Pressing, eliminated. ing. Press, V1, gone. The answer must be pressed. The building was opened on 1st May 1931 by remote control when President Herbert Hoover pressed a button in Washington DC. The Empire State Building towers 381 meters above ground and measures 443.2 meters to the top of the TV tower. A further 16.7 meters is below ground. The spire on top was designed as an airship mooring mast, but is a contrast indicator. Never miss any indicator while trading. But after a German airship, the Hindenburg, burned at its mooring mast in New Jersey in 1937, it was dash used. A contrast indicator must always connect one positive idea and one negative idea. Come to the idea before but. A further 16.7 meters is below ground. The spire on top was designed as an airship mooring mast, positive. So but is a contrast indicator. The idea before but is positive. So idea after but must be negative. That means blank 4 must be filled with a negative word. But after a German airship, the Hindenburg, burned at its mooring mast in New Jersey in 1937, it, that means the building, it was dash used. The spire on top was designed. Now, it was not used. It here refers to the spire, right? Not the building, but the pronoun adjective, the spire. But after a German airship, the Hindenburg, burned at its mooring mast in New Jersey in 1937, it was dash used. Blank 4 must be filled with a negative word. Based on that, frequently eliminated, positive. Often eliminated, positive. Always eliminated, positive. In fact, frequently, often and always almost mean the same. Gone. The answer must be never, negatively charged. Now we'll read the sentence once again and see whether it makes sense or not. Further, I'll start from here. The spire on top was designed as an airship mooring mast, but after a German airship, the Hindenburg, burned at its mooring mast in New Jersey in 1937, it was never used. Makes sense. For more than 40 years, the Empire State held the dash as the world's tallest office or apartment building. For more than 40 years, the Empire State held the dash as the world's tallest office or apartment building. Come to the options. Record, title, position, place. Position is gone. Position is where something is kept, gone. Place also same thing, where something is kept, eliminated. Record or title. For more than 40 years, the Empire State was the world's tallest office apartment building. That means after 40 years it was not. For more than 40 years it was there, and after those years it was not. For more than 40 years, that means like more for them, take it as 42, 43 and all. After that, it was not the world's tallest office apartment building. We have two options left, record and title. A title will not change. A title remains the same. A record can be broken, right? That a title remains the same, cannot be changed. A record can be broken. For more than 40 years, the Empire State Building was the world's tallest office apartment building. That means after 40 years, like 42, 43, something like that, it was not the world's tallest office apartment building. That means it changed. A title cannot be changed, eliminated. A record can be broken. The answer must be record. For more than 40 years, the Empire State held the record as the world's tallest office apartment building. Getting it?